Shalom Aleichem, this is Rabbi Kovacs, and today in Mishnah Yomi we have the honor, and the privilege, and the duty to finish Masechet Gittin and begin Bezrat Hashem Kiddushin. So we're in chapter 9 of Gittin, Mishnah Yud. Beit Shammai Omrim, Lo Yigash Adam et Ishto, a man may not divorce his wife, Ela im ken motzavo davar erva, only if he found in her a matter of immorality, something scandalous or promiscuous or, God forbid, adulterous. We actually mentioned a case in Sota where there were persistent rumors about a married woman. There wasn't enough witness corroboration to have her go to Yerushalayim to the temple and take the Sota test, but the persistent rumors were reason enough to compel a divorce. And then now the Mishnah cites Beit Shammai's reasoning, Shnemar ki motzava ervat davar, because the husband found in her a matter of immorality. Beit Hillel omrim, now Beit Hillel is typically mekel, more lenient. They say afilu, even hikdicha tavshilo, even if she burns his food. Shnemar ki matzava ervat davar. Now he's citing the same exact verse, the same exact pasuk, but he doesn't read ervat davar as, a one joint phrase. He reads it as erva or davar, and immorality, adultery, or something else. And the something else could be even if she burned the food. Now, that may sound really extreme, and there are many ways to understand this in the Mefarshim. I've heard an explanation where if the husband gets so angry and upset that he's willing to consider divorce, if the wife happened to leave the oven too long, or, she was distracted changing the diapers and the chicken got burned, then really they should get divorced because the husband has an anger problem. And there are sources who say the other way around, that this husband likes his food a certain way. The wife knows that, and she's choosing to be passive-aggressive and prepare his food a different way. I like the pshat that he might be a diabetic and she's adding a lot of sugar, or he might have hypertension and she's adding a lot of salt because she's so upset with him that she's kind of trying to kill him and collect on the ksuva already. So obviously there's more going on than just leaving the oven on for a few extra minutes while she's cooking dinner. There's much more wrong with this marriage before Beit Hillel's actually giving the advice, the heter, to go ahead and end it. Rabbi Akiva adds, afilu even matzah acheret na hemena. The husband finds another woman who is more attractive than the first wife. Shneamar, because the pasuk says, and this is actually the words right before ki matzava ervat davar, it says v'haya im lo timsachen be'enav, and it was if she does not find favor in his eyes. Now then it continues ki matzava ervat davar, and of course Beis Shammai understands she didn't find favor in his eyes because there were this adulterous, promiscuous rumors or activities, and Beis Hillel thinks, well, there's a davar, there's something going on, there's passive-aggressive behaviors, there's anger, resentment, and Rabbi Akiva says, listen, the pasuk is actually three different things. It's lo timsachen is a problem, and obviously that's a greater problem than just a physical beauty. There's something else seriously flawed in a marriage. If the husband thinks he's needs to go and find someone else, there's something else much deeper going on. They need to consult some rabbinical authority to get some help. And it's important to mention in the Gemara here, the very end of the Gemara in Gittin, they say it's a last resort to end a marriage, a Jewish marriage, and unfortunately it's common in modern secular society. But one of the reasons Chazal put Gittin before Kiddushin is because if we did Kiddushin first and then learned Gittin, you might think, yeah, okay, it's natural. There's a marriage first, then there's a divorce. It's the other way around in Shas, in our learning. So we think, a divorce is not something that naturally follows a marriage. Mazel tov, let's jump immediately into Kiddushin. Ha'isha, a woman, an unmarried woman, niknet b'shlosha drachim. She can enter a marriage through Kiddushin through three methods. V'konei et atzma, and she leaves a marriage, she goes back to her own reshut, her own independence, bishtei drachim, through two methods, as the Mishnah is about to explain. Niknet, she may be married, bekesev b'shtar v'bia, through money, through a document, and through intimate marital cohabitation. Though, as we mentioned in Yevamot, we don't do this anymore, but technically it can be done, which is one of the reasons we saw in Gittin that if the husband and wife had been divorced and then they spent the night together in a hotel room in Vegas, were concerned they might have decided to have a Kiddushin again there. Bekesev, with money, well, how much? Beit Shammai omrim b'dinar, b'shavet dinar, with a dinar coin or an item worth a dinar. Ubeit Hillel omrim b'pruta, uvesheva pruta. A pruta, a much smaller amount, even something worth a pruta. Bekamahi pruta, and just how much is a pruta? Echad mishmoneb Israel Toki. That's 1/8 of an Italian Isar coin. The Rambam in the Parish Mishnayot says the Italian coin weighed 4 grains of barley. I guess they're average-sized grains. So pruta is half a grain of barley of silver. So it's not a whole lot of money. But it does have some purchasing power. Now, in the Gemara, they actually learn this out. Gezer shava kiha kiha miste efron. The word yikach, which means basically usually purchase or take. Ki yikach ish isha is what's written by Kidushin in Devarim chapter 24. And then when Avraham buys Marat Machpelah to bury his beloved wife Sarah, Natatia Kesev Hasode Kach Mimeni. Ephron tells him, take from me, acquire it from me. Now, some people are bothered. This word means a purchase, an acquisition. You could use the same word by a wife, to buy a piece of land in Eretz Yisrael. And it's not really a purchase. It's sort of an entering, a combining of domains, a combining of destinies. You know, that everything you buy, it's min hashamayim, that you were supposed to buy that, whatever field, house, car, whatever it is, it's min hashamayim. So too by the wife. And some people explain that we learn marriage from buying a land in Eretz Yisrael. It works the other way around too, that living in Eretz Yisrael, Jews being in Eretz Yisrael, is like a marriage. We have to be fully committed. We have to give everything into it. And we should know it has ups and downs. As we've seen, it's not always easy. It's not supposed to be easy. We're supposed to put our heart into it nonetheless. Now back in the Mishnah, v'konei et atzma, and the woman goes on her own again, beget, through a get. That was the last Masechta. It was 3 minutes ago. Uvmitat the bol, or through the death of the husband, then she's also free to remarry. Hayavama, now Yavama is a woman whose husband died without any children, but he has a surviving brother. So now the brother is on the hook to take care of this widow. Hayavama nikneg babia. Now, Yavama can be married through marital intimacy alone. Though we saw back in Yavamot, they would usually do ma'amar, they'd give a ring, they'd throw a party, they'd make it like a nice wedding, even though technically the acquisition of the Yavama is through bia. V'konei et atzma bechalitza, and if she receives chalitza from one of the surviving brothers, she's now released, she can go and marry whoever she wants. Uvamitat hayavam, or if the Yavam passes away, now she's also free to marry anyone. Mazal tov again, tizku l'mitzvot.